What's up, fellow lords of gaming, and welcome back to another episode of Marvel Future Fight. Today we're going to jump in and take a look at MantIs. So all of our characters, we've basically gone through Rocket, we've gone through here, and we're going to roll into MantIs. MantIs does receive her potential transcendence for the character, so that's a really good benefit for the character overall. It's also her very first uniform that she's had for the character, so I don't think this is going to be a bad out for anyone. The uniform is going to be good no matter what for the character, just on the basis of it's going to be a nice power up for her, which is basically, even if you don't use her for, like, you know, PvP or PvE, game modes like World Boss Legend, you still get to use her inside of like Shadowland as a Shadowland cleric type character. At least that's the way I put characters in those things, like especially characters that have not had original uniforms. Jesus, why they do you like that, girl? They gave you Pankaka, like you got no ass. To be honest with you, you looked better in this uniform, but you at least look thick. But whatever, it's a uniform for her. Good time to be picking up uniforms, half off. So let's jump in and get that. So now let's take a look at her uniform effect. It's kind of weird to see this applied to self. Basically, 80% chance to become immune to mind damage, increases mind damage by 20%, increases skill damage by 30 and 30. Now, the weird part about seeing mind damage is like, where are you putting her that she's going to be needing to be immune to mind damage for 80% chances? It's cool, it's thematic for the character, but it's just like, where? Like, you're gonna put her inside World Boss Legend Jean Grey and hope for the best there? I don't know. So anyways, let's take a look at her other skills inside here though. So her passive is going to be one of the good things that's inside here, specifically Mental Connection, which gives her basic damage decrease by supervillains and superheroes. So you can see like this, and it applies to all allies. It's not just Guardians of the Galaxy. I think there are better decrease buffs inside the game for allies for other passive skills, but this one's not a bad one to see. And then we end up with a whole host of her other skills. Nothing really to write home about except the fact that she does get accumulation on her third. So let's go inside and preview some of the skills. We'll come back out and look at her uniform options. All right, so first skill up, right, is Mind Control. And okay, that was like why did she close the gap on that one? I don't get the closing of the gap on that one, but I'm not going to complain about it either. All right, it is what it is. It is what it is. It's just a one skill anyway, so not like you got. She runs really weird. Not a lot to write home. Two skill. That one definitely has more look on it. The slow mo up in the air. Thank God she has iframes on that skill. All right, third skill is called Emotion Domination. So this is her accumulation skill. Beware of that, right? Third, that was nice. That had Ego, the Living Planet vibes. By the way, why don't we have a giant boss raid Ego? Like, we should have a giant boss raid Ego. So that actually looks pretty good, right? Then we go fourth skill. She gets the decreased mind resistance and the ignore immunity, which also recovers the HP inside of here. So you definitely are not using that for a whole lot, because I didn't see any iframes on that skill whatsoever. She is invincible for that skill for 5 seconds, but there was nothing there on that skill. So wow. Now this is accumulation, 10% of pure damage when attacking, so that's a good thing inside there. So her fifth skill is Drax Wrath, so I imagine Drax is making an appearance here, and yes, he does. Wow, okay, her fifth skill looks good. I like the fifth skill. So then we get the bleed, decreased recovery rate inside the skill. So what are we going here? Is this going to be a 3-4-5 or 3-5-4? I have to play with that one because I don't really know. And then her sixth skill is basically her and Nebula. Now, I don't know so much because I don't spend a lot of time with Transcendence characters. Wow, that hit hard. Oh, more characters got involved in there. Is like, essentially, I think this is probably like the first time we've had just a dual peering inside the game versus like a triumvirate inside here for the skills. I'm not sure. So let's take a look at this. So 5-3-4. Okay, so she's going down Peter Quill times 5, 3, and then 4. So easy, simple combo rotation there. 5, 3, 4. Nice hits on that one. I didn't think you were gonna use 2 and 1. And so then we get 6, 5, 3, 4. Can you cancel out a 6 immediately? 6, 5, 3, and then 4. So wow. So okay, I wasn't expecting that. Let's see what the damage hits. So now what I'm really interested to see is if Nebula appears and then Drax appears at the same time. So let's see if that happens. So we basically go 6, 5, 3, 4. Okay, so this could be the reason why we essentially had the double pairing for the Transcendence instead of our traditional triple pairing, right? Is because you notice Drax and Nebula are on screen at the same time, almost as if though the potential Transcendence skill played out on there. Like notice it in the beginning here, 7, 6, 5, and they both come in with the same exact buffs. So it's really nice. Okay, that's thematic. I liked it. Okay, I like it. I like it a lot. That's actually cool inside for the character. I dig with that one. That's cool because if you notice, we would normally see that just inside the Transcendent, but they basically essentially like spread loaded the Transcendence. So you get the debuff down on the characters, all defense down. She also, oh, I just noticed it. The frenzy buff is on the 5. So of course you would start with the frenzy buff. It has the all defense down as well. Then you move into 3 for the damage accumulation, the bonus in crit, the bonus in dodge, things that's happening there. And then you also get the 4 skill, which recovers HP, and that's where most of your damage is happening. Okay, so that makes sense now. So 6, 5, 3, and then into 4. Really simple rotation. It feels really, really nice too. So I like that overall. So it's a good character thing for the character. So now what we're most interested in is the uniform options. I hate to use uniform XP chips on a potential Transcendent character, especially, no offense to Mantis, but not really there for that one. So first option is Quicksilver, and that was not a good uniform option. Wow. That was not a good uniform option. That's not a good uniform option. Quicksilver. Who did we just run into just now? Arrow? Wait a minute. It's Arrow's best uniform option. I'm not a fan of the character. Okay, like I said, I try to judge the uniforms within the constraints of, is that the best uniform for the character, in case those are uniforms that people like, or characters that people like. So I'm not going to judge falsely the uniform option there for Arrow. It is what it is. Oh my god, did we really go Spider-Man Far From Home? Like, for real? That's the uniform they went with? They just like, they don't like you, girl. Okay, it is what it is. So that's a bad uniform option. I'll just be honest. It's a bad uniform option. I don't like it. It's a bad uniform option overall. So we got 2 bad uniform options for her kit. Yeah, I don't like that. That's bad. That feels bad. Like, why they do you like that, Mantis? Why they do you like that? Okay, so we got Moon Knight, Marvel Studios Moon Knight. So that's a good uniform option. It is definitely Moon Knight's best uniform option, and he's definitely a pretty good he's a really good Transcendence character, and he's an even better T4 character. I think there's better combat characters to T4 than Moon Knight, but he is good. And then we get Taskmaster's Marvel Studios Black Widow. That is the best uniform option there for him as well, or her as well. So we got 4 out of 1 or 2 out of 3, 2 out of 5, 2 out of 5, 2 out of 5. Matter of fact, let me go back inside the uniform options real quick. Uncanny Quicksilver, yeah. So like, your better option would have been Summer Days Quicksilver, although I think that this uniform is passable for the character, but I do believe the Summer Days uniform is a better option. The thing is that this is going to be a tricky one, right? Because like, essentially you want the Summer Days uniform, but because it's one of those seasonal uniforms, everybody's not going to be able to have that uniform. So really, Uncanny Avengers is probably the best uniform outside of the seasonal event uniform for Quicksilver. Now, more than likely, this summer, this uniform will go back on sale for like the summer deals and stuff like that, or whatever. It's not that it's a meta uniform or anything like that. You don't need it for Quicksilver either, because I don't really think that it was rated that highly in terms of like it being used, but it was definitely his better uniform overall. So Arrow is just like a really weird one, because Essentially, you buy that uniform for Arrow, you still need the upgrade points. You got to get those biometrics daily over here. So I'm going to say it's a bad uniform option. I'm going to say it's a bad uniform option because it's for men. If it was like for Star-Lord and they threw that uniform option in there, I'd be like, hey, look, it's Arrow. It's I get it that it's a paid a bio uniform, but I would rate it probably differently if it was for Star-Lord since he's tier 4. Since for Transcendent Mantis, I'm going to say that that's a bad uniform option for her. I'm going to say the Quicksilver uniform option, it's weird because it's a seasonal it's a seasonal uniform. So again, that is for Mantis. I feel like that's a bad uniform option. I just do. Like, I'm going to be honest with you guys and tell you how I judge it. That's 2 out of 3 bad uniform options for her. It's a seasonal it's not his best uniform. Excuse me, it's the Uncanny Quicksilver. It's not his best uniform in lieu of his seasonal uniform that we're more than likely going to see this summer, and it's there. I get it. You don't necessarily want to put a seasonal uniform inside of here because a lot of people are not going to have access to the seasonal uniform now. So you basically lock out a stat from players that are joining the game now to be able to access, and that just looks bad. Arrow is a bio uniform for a free-to-play character in Mantis, and I don't like it. Spider-Man Far From Home being a uniform here for Mantis rubs the wrong way. Okay, it just does. Moon Knight's not a bad uniform, and Taskmaster's not a bad uniform either. It's the best uniform there. So I'm not going to judge it too harshly, but essentially you're batting a 2 out of 5 for uniform options for Mantis. The thing that you're balancing that against is she doesn't have a whole lot in terms of like what she's bringing to the table for leadership. There's nothing there for her uniform to affect anyone, allies, and then you're basically looking at whether you're not purchasing this uniform for the character to basically be used against supervillain, like to bolster and boost other characters for supervillain factions by 30 and 30. Unfortunately, I think there are better support options, and she doesn't provide a really good support option. She would have to knock it out of the park and be a safe, self-sustainable DPS character for you to use inside the game, and I think they did her dirty. Like, just on face value of the uniform alone, nothing else judging in the face value of where she would reasonably sit in most players' minds, I would say this is a non-purchase uniform. Like, unless you just need a Shadowland Claire character that you can use, this is probably a non-purchase uniform. Like, realistically, you're paying additional $30-40 for the upgrade to Arrow. You're probably purchasing a uniform that's defunct in Spider-Man Far From Home. You're definitely purchasing a defunct uniform in Quicksilver. So you basically get 2 uniform options in here that are worthy of purchasing for the character, and then you're basically weighting that, like, am I going to purchase these characters for Taskmaster and for Moon Knight based on the fact that I am going to buy a uniform for Mantis? I don't see it. Like, if you're not a whale, you're not a pay-to-play, you're not trying to generate content just to generate content and therefore purchasing the uniforms, to me, this is a pass type uniform. Rocket has great viability in terms of being a support type character, especially Star-Lord, and he seems like he's going to be at a DPS for himself as well. And then Star-Lord seems like a great uniform buy, whether you're going to T4 him or not. It's definitely looking like an upgrade for the character overall. So I would basically go on that passive for this. But realistically, Mantis, I would have to say, if you are just looking to save a little bit of Quan, then skip out on this Mantis uniform, because I don't think that the 30-30 damage decrease is really worth it for the character. That's just me being honest. It is what it is. Remember, she also has her potential transcendence, so she's gonna be a character that you can awaken for her, but I will awaken her, to be honest with you, because I do plan on using her for Shadowland clears inside of here. But I got to be honest with you and just say, like, if I wasn't trying to create content for this would be a pass. I think that the skills look really cool. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, especially the way that the Transcendence plays into her normal default skills, with you basically calling in Nebula and then being able to call. You can't cancel if you wait too long. Wow. You can't cancel if you wait too long. You wait too long, you can't cancel 6. Like, look at this, wait, and then she comes. Wow, it like it did not want to do anything inside there. So like, not too bad, right? We go 6 and then 5 and then 3 and then 4 for the character. Like, it looks thematically nice, you know, the transcendence playing off into us, but like, I'll be honest with you, I need to see some real damage from this character to be able to suggest it to you and say, hey, you know, you should play with this character. Now, I do plan on doing some videos of showing some content with Raccoon, Mantis, and Star-Lord inside World Boss Legend and stuff like that, playing at the lower levels. So if you want to see those, then stick around. Let's see if she like does something in there. But essentially, off face value of the uniform, I would say this is a pass for the character. Like, not necessarily for the character, excuse me. It's a pass for it's a pass because of the uniform type for the characters. Like, that's just why they do that to her. Why they do you like that? Why they do you like that? So I gotta equip some CTPs onto her. I don't actually know which ones I'm supposed to equip to this character, to be honest with you. We'll just go all basic attacks on here. Yeah, we'll go all basic attacks, like go dodge on there, I don't care. And we'll go like HP on there. Doesn't make a difference to me. So yeah, we'll throw those on her. A little weird. I would say highly suggest pass on the character, pass on the uniform if you don't need her. There are better options to basically slot in with Star-Lord and Rocket. Star-Lord and Rocket are definitely the favorable units out of the 3 that are in the update. We'll have to see what they plan on doing with Mantis, if the DPS numbers are there to support the purchase. But on just the uniform options alone and the non-support factor that's there, I would have to say that's a pass on the uniform for her. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Maybe mine will change once we see what DPS number she can do. Until next time, peace. Excuse me.